Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you, all of you, and good evening. Welcome to Albir Educational Center. On behalf of our community, I would like to welcome our guests from Osceola County here with us tonight. I'll give you the opportunity later to introduce yourself and like you have 5 minutes to 7 minutes to tell us about your agenda, who you are, and what role you are running for the county or city or any position you are going at. I would like first to, for those of you who this is the first time going to a masjid, which means in Arabic masjid, it means a mosque or a worship place. It's very simple. The way you see it, we do our 5 daily prayers here. We do our Friday prayer, which is like Sunday for the Christians and Saturday for the Jewish faith. And it is the first thing that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did when he migrated from Mecca to Medina. This is like 1434 years ago. He built a mosque. The first action he did as a leader, he built a mosque. And why? Because it is the cornerstone of the community. It's not just a place to worship God, because we're supposed to worship God, 5 days, 5 times a day, but also we can make supplications throughout the day. But also to bring the community together. And that's really the purpose of tonight's event, to bring our community together. Muslims and non-Muslims, we all are Americans. This is our community, and that's why we are here, because we care. We care about our community. And if you look at, if we want to look at Osceola County, because all of the candidates are from Osceola County. We don't have any state representative or federal representatives here. Osceola County, just in Osceola County, we have 7 masjids or Islamic centers, whether this size or smaller, just in Osceola County. In Central Florida, within 50 miles from here, where we are, we have over 35 Islamic centers in Central Florida, all the way to East Orlando, to Clearmont, to Ocoee, to Winter Haven. So this is just to show you who are we in numbers. We have over 38,000 registered voters, Muslims in Central Florida. So sometimes a couple of hundred voters make a big difference. So we are 38,000 registered voters. In Florida, we have over 400,000 registered voters, Muslims. Nationwide, we have over 7 million Muslims. And some places, even some statistics says we are reaching up to 9-10 million. So we are here, we're not like what Donald Trump says. We are here, we're Americans, and we are here to stay. And we have recently in Osceola County, and some board members here from the Muslim Cemetery of Central Florida, the first in the nation that we own in the graveyard in Florida, and it's in your county, in Osceola County. So really your county has been a great help for us. And that's why we feel like we are obligated to help you to continue helping us, and we help our community. In education, in transportation, in all means of infrastructure, and also for human rights. One of the projects that we are currently working on here in Central Florida, which is I'm the president of the Central Florida Free Clinic. We are opening a clinic that will offer services for all uninsured citizens of Central Florida. You don't have to be a Muslim or an Arab to go to the clinic. And we are almost there to open the clinic officially. We have a lot of doctors. We have over 284 Muslim doctors in Central Florida alone. So we have a lot of resources that we can help you to build a stronger community in Central Florida, that we will leave a legacy behind us that each and every one of us should be proud of. We are not here strangers. We are part of this community, and we are not going anywhere. And then, I want to say something, before I conclude. Emerge USA has been a great help promoting these connections and building the relationship with our elected officials. I want to thank Emerge USA and the Central Florida Director, Yemen Munassar, and her volunteers. They've been doing a great job for our community, bridging the gap. And really, truly, they are doing a great job. They put their hearts where it belongs to, and their efforts together. Henry Ford said, and some of you probably know what he said. One time he said, coming together is a start. And we are here together tonight is a start. Staying together is a progress. And we're going to stay together. We're going to build a better Florida. We're going to be #1 in the nation, where everybody not only comes to Disney, but to come and enjoy great Florida. And then working together is a success, and that's what we need to celebrate success. So some of you will get elected, and we wish you the best. And once you get elected, God help you, because you have to perform. So we want to tell you, we're not leaving you alone. We will be behind you. We will do whatever it takes to make you successful, because we want to be with the successful people. With that, I will turn it over to Sister Yemen Munassir. Thank you and welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Orlando's Central Florida Emerge USA Director. And a little thing about Emerge USA, our organization, it promotes civic and political engagement from the Muslim, Arab, South Asian, American, Muslim community. And through participation, the community is able to develop an honest and open dialogue with our elected officials and our candidates who are running for office. The dialogue with the elected officials helps create a bridge of understanding between the Americans and the policymakers that governs our daily lives. We're asking you to join to bridge the gap, to help spread the message that we stand with our fellow Americans, vigilant against all atrocities. Our community has the opportunity to have a substantial amount impact on policy and the image of the Muslim Americans in the upcoming year. We build our own value as we work to increase voter registration, participation, absentee ballot voting, and participate in Muslim Early Vote Day, and participate in District Day. We just had a District Day in Central Florida in Orlando, and we met Mayor Buddy Dyer. We met a lot of elected officials, and they were happy to see us. Emerge USA opens the door that allows us that together we are leaders. Every single person in this room is a leader. So we ask you to come and help and bridge this gap. I want to thank these candidates that are sitting up here, that are here to engage with us. And building that relationship. Throughout the country, we're working hard to support such efforts, regardless the political affiliation. Emerge USA is your organization. It's your vehicle to be a voice for change. An example for your children. A beacon for hope for tomorrow. We must see the world not for what it may be today, but what it wants to be. And we must act. So when we have these panel discussions, and I see, mashallah, the community coming out, it makes me glad and happy. Because this is our country. And no one can say that this is not. And you guys have a voice. So this today is an opportunity to allow you to interact with your candidates who are running for office, as well as to register to vote and get involved. So today we're going to start with the panel discussion with our candidates. Each one of them will speak, and I will pass the mic. The first round we're going to talk about a little bit about themselves and why they're running. And the second session, we're going to start talking about some questions that I have for them. And the third is a Q&A. So, here we start with the panel discussion. I would like to first thank them. Can you please give them a round of applause?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Orlando Gonzalez, and I'm running for Osceola County Tax Collector. A little bit about me. I've been in Osceola County since 1971. I'm Cuban American. So as far as being different, I know all about it. I should say, my first interaction with the Muslim community was in Kosovo in 2000. I was a former law enforcement officer. I worked in Kosovo for 3 years. I lived and worked and trained with the Muslim community, and I interacted quite a bit, and I learned a lot about Muslim. And I don't see where in today's world where it has such a big issue with things that are happening unless you get to know a certain culture. You can't judge everybody for the actions of some. So I truly believe that that experience helped me to understand, and I'm looking forward to meet with everyone here anytime, and thank you for your time.
It's a little too tall. Good evening, everyone. My name is Russell Gibson, and I want to thank you for having me here. It's a great experience for me, and I'm honored to be in front of you tonight. I am running for Osceola County Sheriff. I've been with the Sheriff's Office now for the past 28 years, and I've worked cases from homicide investigations on down to the most unspeakable crimes that you can imagine. I am originally from Youngstown, Ohio. I grew up there, and I moved down here when I was 22 years of age, and I've been with the Sheriff's Office ever since. Again, I've met with some of the folks on Thanksgiving over at the Kissimmee Lakefront, and I talked about how we are all the same here in this community, our community. Not just us, not just you, it's all of us. We all live here, we share the same businesses, we share the same stores, the schools. You know, we all have to get along. We're all from someplace else. My family originated from Germany, and I am happy to say that I'm an American citizen. I'm very fortunate to be born and raised in this country and enjoy the liberties that we do. That's open for all of us. I want to bring into the Sheriff's Office a little bit more diversity and to get everyone in our communities involved. That's the most important part, is that we all have a say, we all have a voice, and we're all represented. When I'm elected sheriff, I'm going to bring that to you. Thank you.
I'm even shorter. So, good evening. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Peggy Chaudhry, and I'm running for Osceola County Commission, District 1. A little bit about myself. As you hear, my last name is Chaudhry. I am married to a Muslim. My husband is here with me today, Zaire Chaudhry, my daughter, Athena Chaudhry. They're joining me here today with you folks. I want to thank you very much for welcoming us. I think it's very, very critical and important what Emerge is doing, because they are educating everyone about getting involved with the elected officials that get in those seats, because they make a huge difference in all of our lives. I know firsthand about diversity. My parents are Latino. Like I said, my husband's Muslim, but he is from Pakistan. We have a marriage that works even though we're different. And that's what makes America so great. Because we, as Americans, all of us, we could come here, choose the religion we want, marry who we want, and be the way we want. And that's one of the things that we have to protect. And we always have to protect that for who? For our children. That's very, very important to me, to my heart. This is my very first time running for office. And I'll tell you something. My first career was a federal officer. I used to work with immigration, and I worked a lot with diversity. Then I decided to open up my own business. And I seen as a small business a lot of unfair things happening. And the people making those decisions in those seats did not understand a small minority business and what we went through. Not only that, they didn't truly understand what residents needed or what residents wanted and what this melting pot in Osceola County is becoming. The numbers you have here is enormous. You guys have a voice, and it's so critical that people in those seats, no matter which seat it is, understands that if they don't do their job, which is properly representing you, then they shouldn't be there. I know some folks here, and they know that I've been fighting a lot with different types of issues in Osceola County for everyone. And I want to continue doing that. I think that after volunteering so much and doing a lot of my time on the side, I want to now fully dedicate my time to changing people's lives. You see, I met a philanthropist once, and he taught me to help better the lives of others is the greatest of all achievements. Think about that. We all do that, especially in the Muslim community. You help each other, your brothers and sisters. We do the same out there in the community, and I want to continue doing that. So I hope to meet you guys all individually. Please ask great questions. Ask, what are we going to do for you? How are we going to help to work together? Those are the questions, and anything else you can think of. I hope that we are able to meet, and I will give you my contact information. I want to educate, even if you don't vote for me, it's just important that we vote. The Hispanics, the Muslims, no matter where or who it is or what religion, everyone needs to vote. So please, just educate yourselves on who's running and vote for the people that you believe is best, that will represent you the best. Again, I'm Peggy Chaudhry, and I'm running for Osceola County Commissioner, District 1. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tony Fernandez. Tony because my middle name. Everybody knows me by Tony. I'm running for sheriff's office for Osceola County. A little bit about me. I'm Puerto Rican. I moved to Florida in 2000, and I've been living in Osceola County since 2003. I've been with the sheriff's office for the last 10 years, and like you said, I can relate to you guys because me, Puerto Rican, I have an accent. So you know how difficult it can be. But I would tell the example that when you have a dream, you gotta pursue that dream. And when you're tired of being discriminated or for whatever reason you don't feel equal, instead of wait for somebody else to do something about it, you should get up and do it yourself. And that's what I decided to run for the office. Because like I said, I've been 10 years with the sheriff's office. I got great moments, other moments not that great. But it's a time for a change. And we are minority here, and I'm representing the minority, but we all together, we become a majority. And when I get elected, like he said, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna get elected. He used to be my sergeant. We're great friends, and we do it. He's one of the reasons that he motivated me to run. So anyway, we together, regardless of sex, regardless of race, regardless of where we come from. So we gotta stick together. Like she said, it doesn't matter who you vote for, but that's a powerful weapon that you have in your hand, and you should exercise that right to vote. So, in August 30th, gonna be the primaries. So please, everybody that have that powerful weapon in your hands, come out and vote. And like I said, the difference between my excellent Sergeant Gibson and me, that we just friends and running together, is that I'm the minority. I represent the whole minority. Other than that, we got similar ideas. He's a great guy, and like I said, we got those basically the same focus, different ideas, but basically the same. It's about bringing change to the sheriff's office. Sheriff's office is security. It's your security and your family and your child security. So we shouldn't discriminate. I'm still working. When you guys dial 911, I don't ask questions, who's there? I just go to the call and help whoever is in need. So I want to make sure as well that we bring all the community together. We have a lot of different people in America. That's beautiful about them. So we need to be diversity to the community. Instead of bringing the sheriff's office to the community, I'm going to bring the community to the sheriff's office by creating a group of citizens that they can be aware of what's going on in the sheriff's office. So again, I'm going to be outside when everything's done, so I can ask any personal questions. And my name is Tony Fernandez. You can find me on Facebook, and don't forget to vote for me. God bless you.
One size does not fit all, as it turns out. Hello, everybody. My name is Susanna Randolph, and I'm running for Congress here in Congressional District 9. I am a federal candidate, but all of Osceola County is now included in Congressional District 9. So everybody in Osceola County is included. I am running as a community advocate, as a mom, and more importantly, as a fighter. Because I believe very, very deeply that no matter who you are and where you're from, you deserve a fair shot at success in the American dream. And I will fight very hard to do that. I bring the passion of a community advocate, the concern of a mom, and the experience of having been a congressional district director for the congressional district right here that has covered Osceola County for the last couple of years. I have seen when people come through our door at the congressional office when they need help, no matter who they are, we help them and we fight for them and we protect them. And that's what I want to do. I've seen the power of the system actually work. There's a lot of parts of the system that don't work, but I've figured out in ways that we can make it happen. We've helped get money, $6.5 million for Orange County firefighters. We fought hard to keep the Kissimmee Gateway Airport open, which is an economic generator here in the community. But most importantly, I think that we need to make sure that people are active and informed and aware, and that's why Sister Yemen pulling this together with Emerge USA is increasingly important. We hear a lot during the election cycles about one community more than other communities, and I think every community really matters. And my experience working in a congressional district office was we serve everybody. That's our job and that's our role. We fight for everybody, whether they be a registered voter or not. We fight for every single person, no matter where they're from and who they are, and we will make sure that happens. And again, having spent years as a community advocate and a community organizer, helping communities make sure that they have that fair shot at the American dream, my perspective as a mom, fighting hard for our kids who every day need more opportunities, not less. Things like debt-free college education, because right now our kids are graduating college with $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 of debt. That's not going to help them succeed in this community, and we're going to work hard to make sure that college is more affordable and the American dream is more affordable for everybody. And finally, what makes our country great is not what makes us all the same. It's what the differences we bring to this community and to this country. It's why America is supposed to be great. And so I will really fight hard again, having those perspectives as a community advocate, a mom, and having worked in the federal government to ensure that people have that voice and we can solve those problems for people. I'm not going to stop fighting until we get every single person the help that they need. But I need you guys in this election cycle to get active, because your voices are incredibly important, especially now. And coming together and talking to everybody in the community, and every single community, is what's going to help make us a better country. So I'm Susanna Randolph. I'm running for Congressional District 9, and I look forward to meeting every single one of you and seeing all of you active in this election cycle. Thank you.
It appears it was tall, short. I'm Bruce Vickers, and I am running for Osceola County Tax Collector. And a little bit about me: I've been here my entire life. I remember where this mosque sits, we did frog gigging. There was a whole lot of water here and a whole lot of ponds here. So I've been here my entire life in this community, and I am so welcome and so open-armed to the fact that our community has diversified in the years that I've been here. I also have worked in the tax collector's office for the last 15 years. I worked 4 years in the clerk of court's office. I was the criminal court clerk supervisor. I am a certified executive leader through the Department of Revenue. I am also certified as a tax collector assistant. I have put my whole heart in to making sure I work with businesses every day on a daily basis, and it's my job to make sure that they succeed, to get them through the hoops and get them through those over those hurdles that they need to get through to make sure that they can get where they need to get. One thing we don't say is it's not our job. If you come in our office and you need assistance, we're going to find the assistance you need. I tell people when they come into our office, we talk the language of bureaucracy, so we can get you through it. We can get you through it. So we can help you to get where you need to be so that you can succeed. Your success is my success. It's taxes. It's not pretty. Nobody likes to pay them, but we all have to pay them. And I'm hoping to get your support in the next election to elect me to the position of tax collector. I have been endorsed by our present tax collector, Patsy Hefner. She's been in the office for 17 years and she is retiring. I've been there with her for 15 years and I've had the honor and the pleasure of working with her and learning this business from the ground up. When I went to work at the tax collector's office 15 years ago, I left a job as an executive director at a assisted living facility working with the elderly to go work on the front counter. I started at the bottom because Patsy Hefner told me, if you want to learn this business, you've got to learn it from the bottom and work your way up. I have been in the executive leadership team for the last 8 years. I did work my way up. I was bound and determined to get where I needed to go for the taxpayers of Osceola County because this is my community. And I'm here, I've been here, and I hope to stay as your tax collector and hope to get your support in 2016. Thank you so much.
My name is Jed Sewell. I'm running for County Commission, District 1. I've been married to my wife for 20 years. I have one daughter named Morgan. She's 14 years old. My family has lived here for over 3 generations. But you know what? That's not what's important. What is important is you and how your local government can give you the best opportunity to succeed. And that's, a rich man once said, if you want to be rich, do what rich people do. Save your money, spend less than you make, save your money, and invest. Well, if you look at counties, you can look at between us and Seminole County, and they have done a great job attracting high-paying jobs to their community. The model they're using works, and we need to figure out that model and implement it here. Another way is for you to keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket where it belongs. And you do that by making government more efficient and effective in its day-to-day operations. And you do that through consolidation of services, managed competition, use of the private sector, and a return to the core function of government, which is to ensure public safety, facilitate the rule of law, and be a good steward of the public's property. Let me fight for you to make Osceola County the best place to live, work, and play. Jed Sewell, run for County Commission, District 1. Thank you all, and I hope to meet all of y'all later. Thank you.
So the questions are going to be random, and then you just read whoever would like to answer the question. Some are sheriff questions, but some are just regular questions, just minority questions. Okay. So, first question. Don't get nervous. How do you define public safety, and what policies and practices are you planning on implementing to help to ensure it? Who would like to answer that? How do we define public safety? And what policies and practices are planning on implementing to ensure it?
Public safety is everybody's responsibility. It starts in your communities where you live. And it's just a simple process of if you see something, say something. The sheriff's office is going to be there as tools for you to use to guarantee that quality of life that you deserve, that everyone in this county deserves. Public safety is paramount, and I've had the pleasure of protecting your communities and working hard for you for the past 28 years. Again, solving the homicides and child sex crimes and anything that you can imagine. I've been to your homes. I've answered calls for service from 911s, disconnects or battery domestics, or hey, this guy's building a fence on my property, and it has to be addressed. Everything is important. Everything in our community starts with us as citizens, and we have to take that role. The sheriff's office is going to do what we've always done, and Bob Hansel has laid a great foundation for the county. And what I want to do as sheriff is build on that foundation and finish building the house that he started. And if there's one thing I've learned working for the past 5 different sheriffs, including Sheriff Hansel, and Bob Forns, and John Lane, and Charlie Croft, and Charlie Acock, is are good things that work and things that don't work. We want to include our citizens in our different communities and implement programs that they're going to come and speak with me and the administration and tell us what's important in your community. I want to hear what you have to say. How can we help you is what I want to do. And I'm very approachable, and I think that's what a leader has to be. If you have a concern, you'll receive my card if you like, and you can call me anytime. When I'm sheriff, the number on the back of the card is not going to change. Your concerns are my concerns, just like anyone that's in government and high-ranking officials or people that consider themselves to be important in our community. Everyone will receive the same treatment and implement the law.
Thank you. Anyone like to-
Public safety also defined as prevention. We don't have to wait till crime occurred in order to attack the crime. So we need to work with prevention. How can we prevent something to happen? So Central Florida is a multicultural of people. So I'm gonna establish a program so every people come and we can get orientated about the habit, about the custom, about all the how we call that, the way you behave in your country, about your customs, you know, about cultural thing. That's the word I was looking for. Because like somebody was saying upstairs, it's a culture shock when people come here because they don't know what's going on. So it's happened for every people that come to the United States. They assume that it's the same back in the country, be from Puerto Rico, Central America, whatever, but the rules, the laws are different. So by establishing something that we can educate, and we get people from different cultures to, we mingle with them, so we talk to them, and we can understand better how the culture works, so we can prevent, put people behind bars and all the crime, because a lot of people go to jail just because they don't have the knowledge. We got two type of person in jail. We got the criminals and the people that are ignorant about the law. So by establishing a law process, orientation for the culture, so we can prevent those situations. Thank you.
Okay, this is the second question. What policies, changes, or investments are necessary to encourage broader employment? And how would you do that? Who would like to answer that question? What policies or investments necessary to encourage broader investments? What projects would you do?
You know, I'll start off by telling you about how we need to attract high-paying jobs to this community. But I can tell you a story about a woman I know named Deanna. She went to UCF and got a marketing degree. Come back to Osceola County, and there was no place for her to go to work. So being industrious, she said, I'm going to start my own business. Well, she went down there to get her business license. It took her 4 weeks and $400 to do so. That should be unacceptable in a Republican, a Democrat, or independent anywhere. That is unacceptable. And I can tell you about Mary, a single mother or two that wanted to start a cake baking business. She went down there and she had a hard time in the county as well. These are the future leaders in our business and our community leaders, and we got to help them because they're going to create wealth for themselves, and they may even create jobs in our community for other people.
Would you like to answer that question as well?
You know, talking about small business is really, really important to me because my family and I had a very small motel on 192, and we struggled a lot every single year since 2005. We went out to try to get assistance and help with our public officials, and try to go up the chain of command and didn't receive it. So I went ahead and helped founded the very first 192 Hotel Motel Association because the small businesses were not being represented and we needed to come together in a voice. Didn't matter where we were from, it didn't matter what languages we spoke or what religions we were in. We all came together and all as hoteliers we started fighting together and tell these politicians and tell everyone that either they start listening to us or they will be replaced. That's why I'm here today, because I've seen that that wasn't happening. Osceola County needs to grow. We all know that. You guys are growing, we're all growing. Look what amazing things happen when you grow, right? Many of you might have small businesses as well. You want your small business to grow and leave it to your children, just like I seen and I wanted to do. So nothing should ever stop that. That is the American dream. My dad coming from South America, Bolivia, and my mom coming from South America, Colombia. They came here, found themselves here, and got married. My dad worked in factories for more than 20 years, saved every penny he had, and opened his very first business. That's how I've seen that the American dream gets made. You work hard for what you want, and you should be able to do and have your own business if you choose to. And you should be able to live where you want to comfortably with proper wages, just like Jed said, and actually have opportunity for your children to continue that business or to continue growing if they choose to in whatever career they would want. That's why I'm running for Osceola County Commission again, District 1. I think I understand firsthand what's going on with the small business, what's going on with the residents coming in and looking for those new opportunities and better wages. I've seen it, I've lived it, and so I definitely want to repair it and fix what's out there today.
This is a tax question.
A tax question.
Are the county taxes too high, about right, or pleasantly low? And then I'll let you have a Q&A with that, with brothers and sisters here. So who would like to go first?
Okay, everyone, just stay seated. One thing that is very confusing for most people is they think that the tax collector sets your rate. We do not. They also think that the tax collector makes the decision for how much you pay on your taxes. We do not. Our job really is to collect the taxes that are set by the county to make sure that they're distributed correctly and done by the law. So we do not set your taxes. I was somewhere the other night, someone said, can you lower my taxes? And I said, if I could, I'd lower mine first. If I could do that. But I can't do that because I have to take what's set by the county and collect it properly. So to clarify the tax question, it's not the tax collector.
You didn't answer my question.
I didn't answer that question because as a citizen of Osceola County, I have to tell you, we all have to pay taxes to do things with. The taxes have to be in place. And I just told a lady today, do I like it? No, I don't. I'd have a lot more money if I didn't have to pay taxes, but I wouldn't have roads. I wouldn't have the things that we have that make our community safe. I wouldn't have an officer. I wouldn't have those things that those taxes are used to make sure that the county is ran. As on a personal level, all of us are going to say they're too high. I think that's where we all come from. They're high. But I think on an educated level, we have to look at those taxes and say they're pretty much along the lines of all taxes that are collected throughout the state in regards to what's there. There are some places that are higher because of what they have within that county. There are some that are lower because of where that county's at. But we choose to live in Osceola County. And I think if you want to make a difference in what your taxes are, and if your taxes are too high or think they are, then you have to approach your county commissioners, you have to approach your county commissioners and other officials in order to make sure that you get what you want in regards to taxes. But remember, taxes run the county, and that's where I think we have to be.
So he threw it on the floor for you commissioners.
Sorry.
It's all right. Well, hello? Well, I'll tell you, my family owns 3 small businesses as well. We paid over $70,000 in property taxes last year. I think it's a little bit high. Osceola County government runs on $1.3 billion a year. I say we starve the beast of government.
We were learning. This is a sheriff's question. If you can answer or please. As a candidate to the Sheriff's Department, how will you foster an environment that ensures fair treatment of all people that are served by Osceola County Sheriff's Department? And I'm talking in regards for the Muslim community.
Like I said before, I'm Puerto Rican with an accent. So I can relate to you guys. And I will make sure the police officer that work for me, they be educated referring to the culture, to the everything related, how to treat every citizen, not only you guys, but I'm talking about in general. We are human beings and we deserve to be treated equally. We don't need to be looking at who you are, where you're coming from, religious, stuff like that. You are people in Osceola County, and you deserve the fairness treatment that possible to get. You guys are taxpayers, higher taxpayers. I just find out, just kidding, I pay tax too. So you deserve to be treated equally. And like I said, once you qualify, because sheriff's office is not like any other job that you can give anybody jobs. You need to qualify to be a sheriff. That's very important. But once you qualify, I will make sure that you got the equal treatment of anybody else. Like the law, the symbol of the law, which is blind. Yes, that's the way it should be, blind. You just look a person, a people apply for a job, and you should get that when somebody go to your door. So that's your house. They should treat you equally in your house. Like we are here. I'm barefooted. I took the shoes. It's your house, so we go by your rules because we're in your house. So I will make sure that the deputies get orientated about the culture so we can understand better every culture in this county. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, fair treatment starts from a person when it comes from the heart. That's really where it comes from. And when you're working with people day in and day out, people can see through what isn't real. And that is what defines a person. It's how they were raised, if they have love in their heart, or if they have hatred in their heart. You can't mask that. You can't mask it forever if you do. A leopard cannot change his or her spots. Fair treatment starts with the person who's going to be acting from the heart. And that's what I've always done. I would never discriminate against anyone, nor have I ever. Anyone that applies at the sheriff's office, I would recommend that you go to the academy, get your certification. When I'm elected sheriff, apply. We're going to go through an interview process. We're going to get you on board. I want to see proper representation for the people in this county. We know that we have a big Asian community. We have a big Hispanic community. We have Anglos, Americans. Everybody wants representation. Everyone deserves that. But it starts with a person that has the heart to serve. And that's what I've done. I was a police officer for 2 years in Ohio. I came here and finished out my career. And as sheriff here, my gas tank isn't empty with all the years that I have served. All I have is a heart to serve. If you give me that opportunity, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Emerge USA actually lobbies against laws that go against the Muslim community, especially the one that's limiting the freedom of speech, SB 86. I just an individual, as myself, and as a representation of the Muslim community, how would you go on the floor and speak about freedom of speech? And what is your take on that?
I think freedom of speech is really important. It's one of the more difficult discussions that we have in our country because it's important to protect people's ability to say what they feel or say what they're allowed to say, but up until a certain point where it incites violence and it incites hatred. And if it endangers our community, that's where that line is really crossed. I think right now in our community, there's a huge discussion going on. There's a lot of Islamophobia going on right now. As we saw this past week, when you have presidential candidates that are inciting hatred and they're inciting fear at the behest and at the expense of certain communities and certain individuals, that's where that line is crossed. We have to make sure that we understand as a country that being compassionate and accepting is not mutually exclusive with being strong on security and strong on being protective of our country. And that's where I think that conversation is getting lost right now. We act, and when I say we act, some people act as if those are mutually exclusive when they're not. And I think that freedom of speech, the way that I would talk about freedom of speech is you have the freedom to talk about what you believe up until the point where that has a damaging effect on other individuals, and that starts to impinge on their right to protection, to safety, and to their own freedom. And as much as we will fight as elected officials and as Americans for our freedom of speech, we have to make sure that speech does not then inhibit the safety and the protection of others. So that's something I will certainly fight for, to ensure that we are not inciting that fear at the expense of certain communities and certain individuals. I think we saw an embarrassing moment this week in our country, and I think we have to stand up as a community. I believe as an elected official, and this is something that I've learned over the course of the years in public service, as a community advocate, and certainly as a mom, in the most difficult moments that it is for us to stand up as people is the most important moments for us to stand up as people. So when we see what we saw this past week, this is the moment to stand up right now. Not wait until it's safe, not wait until it's comfortable, but right now it's the time to stand up and say, on my watch, I'm not going to let people be victimized, I'm not going to let fear happen at the expense of others. And that is what's important, and I think you'll see certain people here tonight, and you won't see other people here tonight, because this is the moment that it matters. But this is the moment that's hard, but this is the moment that it matters. So that's how I would talk about it.
Brother Jamal Hassan, would you like to come up? Maybe you like the next question.
The question I have, and it's for all candidates, and I'm sure it's on the mind of many of the brothers and sisters sitting here tonight. You get my vote, what do I get in return? What are you going to do for me? Because, that's the bottom line. We are minorities. There are some people, we feel they are just basically using the votes, but we need the results. We extend our hands to you tonight. So if you are elected, what would be the first thing that you will do that you bring us closer to you where we can help you? Could be a position in your county for volunteers, whatever you think. How can we be more effective in the community and also engage and feel like we are part of the community?
That was a great question, so I want to answer it first. So first of all, where are the three girls I talked to earlier tonight? 3 students. Okay, so you guys can help me because you're wonderful. So I had a great conversation with you all. But I think the first thing, what you get for your vote, what I will give you for your vote is fairness and opportunity. You know, I can't sit here honestly and tell you I will give you more than somebody else that I am tasked to represent, right? I can't say I'm going to give you more, but I will give you fairness, and that's what I believe is important about a country and about the concept of democracy, is that I will give you a fair shot and a fair shake and a fair answer. You're not going to get an answer from me just because you tell me you're going to do something for me. I'm going to give you an honest answer because I think you deserve an honest answer. It may not always be the one you want to hear, but it will be an honest one, and it will be one you can count on. I'm not going to tell the person who came in behind you with a very different ask, a completely different ask, that yes, they get the same thing, because I think that that's insincere, and I think sincerity is what matters in democracy. The second thing, the thing that you all can do, and I think which is really important, is get more visible, more vocal, and more active. Because again, it's unfortunate that our system works this way, but it's kind of the squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of thing. You have to participate in democracy. This is advanced citizenship, right? This is where we have to want this. We have to, as Americans, we have to really want to be participating in our democracy and really bring it to the table. It's what makes our country better and what makes the diversity stronger in our country, and it's what ultimately arrives at fairness. Is when everybody's participating, everybody has a voice, and everybody is at the table. And that's what's really important. So for all of you all, I will give you fairness, I will give you opportunity, I will give you sincerity, and I will give you honesty. But what I need from you guys is I need you to show up. I need you to come and participate, because when somebody like Donald Trump is yelling out there, we need to have just as equal a voice yelling back, okay? That's what matters, and we need to be out there and do that. And then the 3 young ladies that I talked to, I want you all to work on my campaign. So, thank you.
All right, I'll go ahead and go next. Fairness and opportunity is great, and that's so true. One of the things that I think every single candidate needs to always do, and never forget to do, is to communicate. It's as simple as you call your politician, and that politician responds back. How many of you have called a politician and they never called you back? Okay. I mean, this happens time and time again. On the local level, there is no excuse for that. None. That is why we run, right? Because we have to listen to you and see what your concerns are. Why? Because we're not everywhere. So we need to know what's happening everywhere. One of the things, none of these candidates are going to say, I promise to give you anything, but every candidate should promise to give you their time to be able to listen to what it is your concerns are for your community, under your religion, or for in your household, and for your families. What are the concerns? You come to us and tell us. These are our concerns. How are you going to help us solve them? Taxes is a concern. Commissioners, what are you going to do about it, right? That's a concern. Safety and security, huge concern, especially in today's age. Especially because you're Muslim, safety and security is a huge concern. And so that's very serious. Come to us. And those are the questions that we want to sit and resolve. I love that idea. Coming together as a community and building an organization, perhaps, that the people can join and then feed with the politicians and say, these are the questions we have as this little community or this little group. We want to know what's going to happen with this. What are the answers to these questions and the questions that we have about our community and things we want. So, and many candidates have already said this before, but I'm going to say it again. It is so critical that we do get involved. Your vote is where it matters. Because I've learned in this process, being Latina myself, so many Latinos do not vote in primary. There's thousands of Latinos to vote, thousands of you to vote, and guess what? There's only a few hundred that actually vote. And did you know that politicians look at that? I didn't. I learned through this process, and I'm learning a lot more every single day. And this is how come it's so critical. She's absolutely right. It is the most difficult time, but is now to get involved, especially with what's happening out there in the national level. We all need to come together. We need to show people that's not American, and we're not going to stand for it. So please vote, and when you do, whichever politician is there, you go knock on their door and you call them and you tell them what is it you want and need, or what questions you have, and they have to and should answer you. That is their job. And if they get them off their seat, that is what you do, and that's why I'm here and running today. Thank you very much, guys.
I think this campaign's going to come down to 3 issues, and that's economic opportunity, a lasting solution for the homeless problem we have on 192, which is in District 1, and to make government more efficient. And as far as you getting involved, it's great to get involved if you help the disabled or help the aged people, but you guys have the opportunity to go to a commissioner and be appointed to a board, the Board of Adjustments, the Planning Board, the Charter Review Board, the Fire Advisory Board. There's like 8 or 9 boards, and that'll give you an opportunity to have a say in the direction of Osceola County. And that's the kind of thing I'll be doing for you. I'll be working, fighting, and doing things for you in Osceola County.
As a new elected sheriff, 2016, I promise you guys, they're going to give you not only justice, but equal justice for all, equal fairness. Okay, like I said before, and like she said, we cannot offer any job or anything like that. Yes, you qualify, you go through the academy, and your secretary, whatever you qualify for, I guarantee you that because we want to show diversity in our agency, so you guys are going to come first, like a lot of Hispanic, because the agency right now has a lot of lack of minority. So we have to represent the community, so therefore, minority is going to be first. And like I said, it's going to overflow. If you qualify, you qualify, okay? If you don't qualify, I'm sorry. So maybe do something else, but I can guarantee you guys, there's going to be equal justice, equal fairness for everybody and whatever you guys need. Thank you.
I think it's important that we also realize that as a community, we have to come together, all together. I was with the tax collector's office, and we were involved with Bridge the Gap. I was the person from the staff who was going to those meetings. We learned a lot of things by going to those meetings and understanding some of the cultures that were out there with the Muslim people. And we made some changes in our office. We made some real changes in our office because the laws require that you have to have your face uncovered. What we did was provide us private room that they could do that with so that they weren't out in the front. We learned a lot of things by just attending those meetings and understanding, and we want to make ourselves available to be educated by the people. And educating myself, it helped me so much to understand. In our culture, my first response, I have an accent too. I have a Southern accent. I'm from Florida, but I have a Southern accent. My first response to someone when I meet them is to shake their hand. And in my culture, that's accepted. I did not realize until I went to Bridge the Gap and heard the Muslim people talk that there was a difference in that. And it was because of that education that I understood where we needed to change in regards to some of the culture that was there. And we've made those changes within our office, and we'll continue to make those changes by meeting with the people and educating the people. And it's just as everyone else has said, if you don't come to us or invite us, or we invite you and people show up, if we don't have an open communication and willing to accept that there are differences within our cultures and willing to accept those differences and take them to heart, it's never going to work. Even in a tax collector's office, people think, well, what could you learn from this? When we were invited, the first thing I said was, I can learn what the differences are. I can understand the differences so that we can help the people, all of the people, and help them all of the time. So it really is important to me and important to my going into that office to make sure that we're getting out into the community, educating ourselves about the community and the differences and the people who are coming to our community. And I say our community because it is ours. It's all of ours. You're here. I was here. And I've accepted the fact we are all in this community for the betterment of the community. If we're not, then there's a problem. And that's where we've got to understand as a community, whether I'm the tax collector, the sheriff, Congress, wherever I am, if I'm elected by the people, I need to work with the people. So I look forward to being your next tax collector in 2016. Thank you.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. Ladies and gentlemen, when elected sheriff, what I'm going to bring to the table is a sense of fairness and opportunity. Sorry about that. Again, I pride myself on being approachable. You need somebody that's going to be in the position that's going to be not just here tonight, but anytime that you extend an invitation to me, anywhere, any one of the mosques or any of the gatherings that we have at picnic for Thanksgiving, I'm going to be accepting that. You won't just see me tonight. You won't just see me before Election Day at the different voting precincts. You're going to see Russ Gibson anytime that you have a problem, anytime that you need something. We're going to train our deputies, we're going to educate our deputies, and make sure that they understand that everybody in our society is different, and there's different cultures. And like Bruce said, I didn't know about the handshaking until I received actually the email this evening when I read it before I came here about the handshaking. And that's something that I took to heart and I respect. I did a little bit of research before I came here tonight, and I see that over in England, there's a big Muslim community there, and they talk about acts of violence committed by a couple people here and there, not millions. They say, "You're not Muslim, bro." That's what they say to these people when they commit that act of violence. It doesn't represent a community or a religion of love, which is what we have here today from the understanding that I have. And we have to have that. I'm taking the time to educate myself. I don't know everything about this, and I would never pretend to do that. That would be insulting you. But I'm willing to learn. And that's what it takes. That's a heart to serve, and that is who I am. And again, my gas tank is not empty here, and that's what I want to bring to the table. But by pointing out the fact that not everyone is the same, that's getting in front of this problem and letting people know that it isn't everyone in the Muslim community. It is a small, very small portion of people that are doing this, and it hurts you, it hurts us as a community. And I want to bring us together with education and diversity at the Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Everybody's brought up a very good point. This is the way I feel why I should get your vote. My experience, like I said, spent 3 years in Kosovo. When I returned, I worked as the Osceola County tax collector. And prior to today, I didn't know all these new things because current times have made things change. But this is something that should have happened years ago when I worked there. My thing is that when you educate the people that live in the community, you provide them the information that's out there, it makes for a successful community. There's a lot of programs that are out there that people aren't aware of because they're not educated. My big concern is that you educate your employees so they're able to help customers that come into the office that aren't aware of certain things. That's foremost for me. I'm all about training. I mean, you can't work with people that aren't trained. I mean, they just can't produce and help people that need the help. So that's my goal. And what was it? Now, I feel that, that's a big part, education. And, what can I say? That's the way I feel. So I appreciate your time. And my name is Orlando Gonzalez, and I'm running for Osceola County Tax Collector.
So now we're going to do open to questions. I'm going to start with the sisters first, and then we're going to start with the brothers. So, raise your, okay, Tabitha?
Tax collector's office is a fee office. So let's say if you go in for driver's license, you're charged a fee, $2.50. Tax collector collects taxes, property taxes, tangible properties. So let's say the taxes that you pay on your home are collected by the tax collector, they distribute it to the county commissioners, and that's where they get their money for their budget. I believe that more education, because the state change, every year there's new laws that change throughout. So constant education would provide better assistance for the public and less employee loss. And they lose a lot of time with employees that get trained at a certain point and they don't have a long career there, let's say, because there's not enough training going on.
I think one of the biggest things that the tax collector's office faces is the fact that we need to move more into technology. We have, and it comes down to a budget issue, but we need to move more into technology because as an executive leadership academy that I went through, we're finding that there are millennials coming into our offices now that would much rather be on our cell phone, on tablets, and what we need to do is start working with that to prepare ourselves for the future, because our future's changing. It's definitely going to a lot more electronics, a lot more different things. So we need to do something to increase the technology that's there. Our office, the day after Thanksgiving, saw 1,200 people on Monday. 1,200 people. We were able to get them in and get them out. We did have about an hour wait for some of the driver's license things, but we saw 1,200 people in that office. The staff that's there is amazing. They're amazing people. Now, I know that not everybody's had an amazing time in there, but I've been to Disney and didn't have an amazing time. So you have to look at it in realistic views. You have to see the realistic views of it. We are getting more and more compliments in regards to the changes that we've made for customer service. We're working towards the people. I've been out into the community. I've gone out and met with the people to find out what we can do to improve it. We're going to need the people's help, but we do need to lessen the foot traffic that's coming through that office and be more efficient with getting through that with electronics, I think. And I think that because I think with the millennials coming into the market. The other thing is training. And the training is, we have laws that change sometimes daily in driver's license. Sometimes we have laws that change every 6 months because, they come into effect and they get voted in and then they take effect in 6 months. We have a lot of laws to keep up with because we do driver's license, tag and title. We do real estate taxes, tangible tax, business license, tourist development tax. All of those things are done through our office, and the state decided that they wanted out of the driver's license business and gave us that. They decided we could have that, and they were not going to fund it. The county was going to fund it. So it's now on us to do driving testing, and they closed those offices and turned those offices into phone centers. And so they kept the staff as phone center people and didn't give us any staff. They didn't give us anything to provide with. We had to do a whole lot more with a whole lot less. And I believe that the tax collector's office in Osceola County stepped up to the plate. I believe the tax collectors all over the state stepped up to the plate and said, give us lemons and we'll make lemonade. We're going to do this, and we're going to do the best we can for our communities. And I think that in Osceola County, have we made mistakes? Absolutely. Have we failed in some ways? Sure we have. But we're still moving in the right direction, and that's forward. And that's what we want to do. And this is forward thinking, this is forward working. And I think one of the biggest things is we need to educate the community. We need to educate the community on what we do in our office. A lot of people that I talk with, and I say this jokingly, they want me to lower their taxes. That tells me somewhere along the line they think I have power to do that. I do not. I don't. I wish that I had that wand, but I don't. That's not that scepter in my hand. But the thing I can do is work with the community to make our office the very best it can be for everybody and everyone that's represented in this community, and make it the best it can be for our future, because we're going there. Whether we like it or not, we're headed that way. And there are some of us who, okay, I'm just going to say it, there's some of us a little older. And so some of us are not as tech savvy as, I have a 12-year-old son that can probably walk his way through an iPad in a second, and I'm like, where did you find that? Those are the people we need to start thinking about. Look at the Apple Store. People aren't so concerned about having cubicles anymore. There are a lot of futuristic things that we need to start looking at. When we used to watch the Jetsons, we thought that was futuristic. Now we have cars that float. It's no longer futuristic. So I think we need to look to the future, and we need to start moving that way. And I think we're moving in the right direction. How slow it may be, sometimes the government's a little slower, but we're moving there. We're getting there. And it's going to take all of us to get there. And your information and your feedback to us is what's going to help us.
The brother here.
Assalamu alaikum, brother and sister. My name is A.K. Hussain. I'm the first Muslim ever ran for City of Kissimmee as City Commissioner, and also the candidate I already met, Mr. Gustafs. I'm very glad the brother and sister actually arranged this. It's very, very important at this time of the year. And also all the thing going on in America today. As you know, I'm coming from Tampa today. Two of our sisters was attacked while they're coming from the masjid. And one of the masjid in California was attacked. So I'm going to talk about something, Osceola County. I've been a long-time resident in Osceola County. I'm also an advisory board member for code enforcement in the City of Kissimmee, which I'm serving there. In our community here, as you know, we have 369,000 residents in Osceola County. Out of that, about 6% represent Asian American and Muslim, which comes to about 10,000 residents, which is including Asian American and Muslim American. Even if we do 50% of the voter, it comes to about 10,000 voters. And this is the big for all the ladies and gentlemen running for us. The reason I ran for the city commissioner because I didn't want to be a politician. I saw things going wrong. Even I went to city manager's office after my election to find out. I saw the data. I actually collected the data that demographic-wise. So even 4% or 6% Asian American and the Muslim American in Osceola County, only 1% employment actually represented whole Osceola County. This is not acceptable. I saw that white quota have been filled, African American quota have been filled, Hispanic quota have been filled, only Asian American and the Muslim American quota wasn't filled. So answer was, well, we didn't find any qualified candidate. I don't believe that. You see all the people here, as you know, as a Muslim immigrant, they're actually higher educated than average American. They also maintain a higher income from average American. I know personally so many qualified candidates for the city and the county and the court can represent and serve our community more efficiently. So all the candidates here, this is my humble request, especially I'm going to start from our shirt. Mr. Gibson and you, Mr. Fernandez, right? And you're both running, we met you. I told you that. In the past, I saw that. I can give you one example. In the Osceola County Sheriff and City of Kissimmee Police Department, they don't represent any Asian American or any Muslim American. So you already said, probably we don't know all the information how to get in there, but I'm going to work personally myself. Only request I would do is to make sure that demographic, true demographic represent the Osceola County. That way we can make this community stronger and we all can start better. Okay? And Susanna, I know you're running from Congress also, and you're representing our district. And we want our candidate to be fearless, represent us, respect our culture. As you said, in Islam, we don't shake women's hand. And also in my culture, I'm not allowed to look at my elders eyes to eyes. In this country, if I don't look anybody's eyes, I'm not honest. So, especially sheriff department, I think they need some training about diversity. They need to know the culture, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. It's my personal experience. I was also discriminated. And later on, I actually went to the sheriff office and complained, and I went forward. So he was agreed that yes, we need the training. We need to train our people about different culture. At the same time, if we have the different backgrounds of people like Muslims, all religions represent this community, like New York City. You can see that there are so many police officers from different backgrounds. So that way, we can serve our community very, very efficiently. And I can tell you something about our Muslim people. As you see in Osceola County, our crime rate is very, very low. We have respect for the laws. We are here to raise our family and live in peace. And everybody here from good family, they came here to live in peace and to make sure that our children go to school and they get higher educated. As you see in Osceola County, we have so many doctors, Asian American and Middle Eastern doctors. We have so many dentists, so many businesses here. Okay? So please, only thing we request, be fair with us. And as a Muslim, we are loyal. When you support somebody, we do support. So respect us, work with us, and guarantee you we're going to be with you all the way. And second thing is for all the brothers and sisters. You said 2016 is very, very important for I get very emotional when I see this thing happen in Tampa today. One of our sisters, actually they tried to put her under the car. So luckily, she survived. Okay, the thing is going on right now, we cannot close our eyes. I am an American. Why should I treat different than anybody else? American Constitution gives me a right to practice my religion without any fear. I don't know, ISIS terrorist has nothing to do with Islam. And we Muslims should not take blame for some bad people doing bad stuff, Christian people doing bad stuff, white people doing bad stuff. So now, I don't know why all of a sudden I have to prove that I'm a good man. We are good people. I don't have to prove nothing. Okay? I'm feared, trust me. I'm standing here, I'm fearing, I fear that somebody probably gonna throw a stone in my house, somebody gonna attack my children, somebody gonna attack my family. So this is, I'm telling you brothers, there's no fear. We are part of America. We're Muslim. Remember that. We Muslims serving America for a long, long time. We Muslims died for this country 1846, before even Donald Trump came here. So, don't be fear. And I know that you are some still holding office. Please, what we did is a good thing we did. Other day we had a meeting with a Hispanic Christian in the church. What you're doing is bringing everybody together, and we promise that because that discrimination not only going against Muslim, is going against Hispanic and Black. We're going to get together in 2016, and we're going to come out, we're going to register, and we're going to vote. This country, we cannot fight. Your voice, you vote, your voice. Please, brother and sister, be registered and vote. For information, as I said, this year alone in our community, we have about 178 new voters, which is our children became voters. So as I said, please work with us. And once again, sister, thank you very, very much for the opportunity. We want you guys to know us. Just watching Fox News is not going to get anything. Okay? As a Muslim, and brother, you said last week we did a picnic. We collected a donation for homeless. As a Muslim, when I donate somebody, I'm not allowed to tell anybody else, hey, I'm donating, because this is we are obligated. But I'm telling all the Muslim brothers, we live in this country. This is our community. We have to love this community first. We have to do something for this community first. And as a Muslim, my obligation toward my family, toward Muslim, also my obligation toward non-Muslim. And I want you to know that, okay? So I'm sorry I took too much time for you. And brother, this is my humble request. This is my humble request. Please register and vote, because if somebody like Donald Trump became a president, we cannot live here. And this is our country. No extra, okay? Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallahu khairan. I think everybody agrees with you in this room. Inshallah. I don't know if we have any more time to.
Can like do a break now and leave people one-on-one maybe, because the candidates probably.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break, and then like Brother Jamal Hassouna said, then we can speak to our candidates.